if there is one topic that gets people really riled up, is AI art. In fact, even the simple fact that I called it art is gonna get me some hateful comments down below. There are a lot of websites that provide, either free or through payment, the services, though the ability to write some prompts and generate art. And the situation is really spreading out to a point that I think it's important to have an opinion and kind of make it known and join the discussion, if you will. Here is, for example, an AI art generator. Describe what you want to see, describe what you don't want to see. You put in the prompts, and then it's going to generate something. Now, there are several reasons as to why the topic is spicy. One, of course, is the absolutely justifiable problem that has to do, one of which is the fact that it could and it will take away jobs from real artists, simply because, I mean, some people don't care about how this is created, simply because some people want something quick, they want something free, as opposed to paying someone for their services and then having to explain things to them and do a little bit of a back and forth and then waiting. Particularly, I think it's waiting, in fact. It's the waiting and the monetary part that are some of the reasons why people choose to utilize AI art whenever they want something made, either for their own personal consumption or maybe for content creation and production. And absolutely, the fact that this can and will affect the ability for people that have put hundreds of hours and years of their life in order to develop a skill, the fact that this can hurt them is a problem and should be discussed and considered as one of the valid criticism against the spread of AI art. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, there are the people that defend AI art, saying that it's simply a tool, something that artists or even regular people can use to enhance their abilities or perhaps even facilitate the production of certain art. Although then again, it's important to also underline the fact that AI art at the moment can create stuff that is really impressive, but it also fails. Like, for instance, if you look at this image, I mean, look at the eyes. They look weird. There is something wrong with this that even I, as a non-artist, can notice. And I'm sure that if a real artist were to look at this, they could notice problems with the lighting or perhaps the shading and several other situations. Sometimes there are anatomical proportions. It seems like it did manage to get the hands somewhat right, but oftentimes that is a massive indicator of AI being involved in the production of any form of picture or painting or representation. Now, even though there is a real critique, oftentimes AI art makes mistakes that a human professional artist wouldn't make. But then again, that could also be brushed up as something that will eventually get fixed as the technology progresses. Now, as someone who doesn't have a horse in the race, I'm not an apologist for AI art, as I don't use it. But at the same time, I'm not an artist, so I'm not someone whose ability to continue to make money would be affected. I think I may be in a position to be able to try to look at both sides, both arguments, and try to figure out the best way to approach this. And here's the thing. As a general rule, personally, I always choose the artist over AI. So whenever I can, if there is an artist who could create a drawing, as I've done it many times in the past for the channel production, I pay them, I pay a real artist so that they make the drawing or the painting or whatever it is that I need, and then I use their work and usually credit them in the description, or if I forget to credit them in the description, I imagine I credit them on the screen, or if they don't want to be credited, as sometimes is the case, then I don't, but I still use the art. I'm a commission guy. I commission people to do art for me, and I do it all the time. Now, as a daily uploader and a daily creator, it has happened with all the videos that I make that sometimes AI art has been used in a couple of videos of mine, simply because one of my editors added it. And then again, unless it's completely horrible, usually I don't ask them to remove it. I did ask them recently to try and not to use AI generated art, but it's mostly not because of some morality, but usually that's because if we use an AI generated version of plate armor or Roman armor, it's just horrible. It doesn't know how to do it. And this is, for example, me getting mad at AI art for ruining history. So yeah, I'm generally speaking, I'm against AI art, particularly in these sort of contexts. With that being said, so what do I mean? I'm not an absolutist. I'm not someone who thinks it's like the ultimate sin to have AI art in your endeavors. I'm just someone who doesn't like to use it for his own creations. So with that being said, if this is my stance, then am I not on the same side of the people who are vehemently against it? And am I not against the people who use it? Well, up to a certain extent, because here's the thing. Check this out. Look at my thumbnails. I post a lot, so not every thumbnail is going to be really, really good, but I think I've got, generally speaking, really nice thumbnails. And the thing is that I've recently got someone writing a comment under one of my videos, and he was commending the thumbnails, and he was saying, man, I really love your thumbnails. But then something came over them. Like, look at this one, for example. And they're like, unless you use AI to do them, in which case they are trash. Now, listen, this thumbnail here, I paid $40 to an artist to make them. Okay, same for this one here, $40, paid the same artist. I usually pay, like last year alone, I think I paid him something like $2,000 out of commissions just for the thumbnails. And the rest of the thumbnails I make myself. But to me, this kind of person, this kind of anti-AI person is now going too far. You are allowing your ability for critical thinking to be overwhelmed by emotion. You're looking at something that you genuinely like. It's clear that you really enjoyed these thumbnails, maybe the best ones in my collection. And after having said that, oh, I really love your thumbnail. Oh, unless it's AI, then it's trash. Well, no. If you think it's beautiful, it's beautiful.